They threw us in handcuffs. Threw us in handcuffs, got us in the back. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Had nothing to do with it. But, you know, so she's giving her statement. Said like, all right. So we sitting in the back of the police car. So here's the thing. It was all gangsta and cool for the other two until we back in the police car. And ironically, these are the two guys too that was two of the guys that was with me at the previous roller skating ring incident, which is called Is This the End, which was my episode previously. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check it out. But anyway, you know, the thing about it is my mentality at the time was this. First of all, one, I knew I didn't do anything. I doubt they broke in her place or whatever. So I was like, it's mistaken identity to begin with. So I know we hadn't done anything. So hey, what's going on, everybody out there? I'm back with another video. It's your boy LB, and this is an episode of LB Tales from the Hood titled Mistaken Identity. So this video takes place when I'm around 16 years old. So one day I come out of my building, and I'm just looking to see where the guys at, see what's going on, see what we get into today. So I'm walking over a few buildings, and I happen to run across two of my friends at the time, or, you know, guys I thought was friends or whatever. So they're mouthing off of some lady, and they're like, yeah, going back and forth. Blah, blah, this, that, and the other, blah. And they're like, yeah, I said it wasn't me. So then the lady's like, yo, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to call the police. And it was like, go call the police. We ain't scared of police. Yeah, real. Now, one of the guys, actually, I noticed that his style of dress changed, recently. I mean, a lot of times in the hood, we're influenced by the fashion we see, hip-hop culture and everything. But, he would wear, like, the fatigue pants, fatigue shirt, put the bandana on. I guess he was trying to go extra hard, trying to prove he's tough, too. So whatever. I don't know. Or maybe, some people figure they could put on their best thug outfit, which, you dress how you dress. There is no thug outfit or nothing like that, or gangster. Some people think they can get some tattoos, throwing bandanas. I'm not saying anybody who do that. I'm saying some people figure that it's just a style of dress you wear and a certain attitude you have that makes you this, that make you that, that make you street. No. I said, that don't make you anything. Your dress has nothing to do with it. It's your mentality, what you grew up in, and it makes you who you are, but trying to be that and perpetrate a fraud. But anyway, getting back to the story. So they mouthing off, right? So they see me, I'm like, yo, what's up, man? I'm like, what's good? What y'all getting? This is crazy, man. And then one dude was like, nah, something, nah, this lady tripping, bugging, whatever. And he's like, yeah, and I should have my man go get the gun. He said something crazy like that to the lady. And first of all, I'm like, okay, he's talking crazy, because I don't know for a fact, you don't know always what people doing, but I was like, I don't think he has a gun, neither the other one, I don't, whatever. So he just talking crazy to or whatever, because sometimes people do that. They get out there capping and whatever, start talking this and that, and they full of it, man. So he was saying that, so I'm like, yo, this ain't about nothing. So finally they finish arguing with the lady, and then the two of them come and we walking off. So he about to, I don't know, I'm like, maybe we'll play some ball, whatever, go back to the crib, get the ball. So next thing you know, the police rolling up on us. Whoop, whoop. So then I was like, shh. So then they see it was real. The lady did call the police. So the police, they got us held, they're accosting us, talking to us, whatever, and they start telling the ladies like, yeah, it's something. So she's going off, and come to find out, see, I didn't know anything that was involved with the situation till basically it got broken down. She's telling the cops that some guys had broken into her, I believe her car, and maybe stole her radio or something like that the day before, and then tried to trespass on her property. So when she seen the two guys, in my time with my friends, she thought that she recognized them and something like that. And I think she said it might have been another one, so I guess they threw me in the mix. But it was basically mistaken identity. I know for a fact, I don't break into people's stuff. I leave people property alone. That was never me. I'm not a thief, but, it is what it is. So the police basically had us up against the car, pat us down, and they threw us in handcuffs. Got us in the back. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy, had nothing to do with it. But, so she's giving her statement, said like, all right. So we sitting in the back of the police car. So here's the thing. It was all gangsta and cool for the other two until we back in the police car. And ironically, these are the two guys too that was, two of the guys that was with me at the previous roller skating ring incident, which is called Is This the End, which was my episode previously. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check it out. But anyway, the thing about it is my mentality at the time was this. First of all, one, I knew I didn't do anything. I doubt they broke in her place or whatever. So I was like, it's mistaken identity to begin with. So I know we hadn't done anything. So, number one, that was number one. Number two, unfortunately, you know, I'm a statistic guy, and I say unfortunately not that fact. It's the fact that the statistics are 1 in every 3 black males are more than likely gonna go to prison. Now, I knew this at the time and thinking that, I mean, you know, I wasn't thinking like, okay, because I'm not a criminal, whatever, but that things happen. Mistaken identity, we heard about the Central Park 5 and all type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? You from the hood, you know about people who, you know, mistakenly get locked up or whatever. So, in my frame of thinking, I'm like, even though I didn't do anything, more than likely, you know, 1, 2, 3, 2 other guys with me, it's 3 of us, 3 black males. More than likely, unfortunately, somebody's going to prison. That's a horrible way of thinking. Since then, I was like, you know, learn, don't do that. Just like people used to tell me when I had good credit many years ago, black people don't have good credit. Our credit's all messed up. So then my stupid frame of mind back then, you know, I wasn't charging stupid stuff. I'm putting stuff on the card, running it up. And then, you know, it took me a while, but eventually I fixed my credit. But I'm like, that's a stupid mentality to think of. And besides those statistics, we don't even know if the numbers they're giving us are real. Hell, they say the numbers don't lie. People lie about the numbers, but whatever. But we shouldn't believe these negative stereotypes. But anyway, me in the back of the police car, so that's my frame of mind that, you know, it's more likely going to happen. Plus, I didn't do anything, so I'm making jokes or whatever. You know, at this point in time, I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm joking with the, I'm playing around with the cop a little bit. I'm joking with the guys. Like, I looked at the cops and I said, oh, what's that? I said, it looked like you got a little red, look like an LED in the back of the 9mm. I said, that don't even look real. I was like, that's not like any gun I see in the movie. So I'm just playing around, whatever. And I'm like I said, I didn't do anything. I'm not afraid. I'm like, what's gonna happen? I'm like, at the end of the day, you know, we're gonna see what happens next, but we ain't do nothing. So here's the funny thing about it. I'm trying to lighten the mood, trying to joke, just trying to, you know, it is what it is. You know, the other 2 in the back, they start breaking down. They're like, oh no, come on, man, I ain't do nothing. One of them was like, yo, my grandmama, right up there, man, my grandmama house. She right up there, man. She got my house. Man, come on, man, I'm telling you, I'm a good boy, man. I gotta watch my sister, brother, whatever. Coming up with all type of stories. The other one was like, mama's over there, man. Mama. I was like, yeah, I'm sitting there looking like, okay, I understand this might be a new experience for you, but y'all was the ones mouthing off like, I ain't afraid of no cops, this, that, and the third. You playing the tough guy. You play Billy bad. As you know what's gonna happen. You know what come with it, man. So it's crazy. I'm like, you act like you signed up for it, but you didn't. See, the thing about it is, I take that Mike Tyson quote once again. Everybody got a plan till they get hit. So everybody thinks, yeah, I'm tough, I'm this. Or, you know, certain people, I'm tough, I'm this, I'm that. And then when they end up in a bad situation, they was never built like that, and they get jammed up and they start folding. I'm like, y'all dudes folding for something you ain't even do. I'm like, this is crazy. And I'm like, if dudes is willing to fold like this for something they didn't do, can you imagine if one of us actually did something and broke the law, was illegal? I was like, yo. The crazy thing about it is I started feeling uncomfortable at a certain point in time, because I'm like, these dudes is so busy copping out and crying at something they ain't even do. I'm like, what's to stop them from saying, okay, if this goes any further, whatever, and we end up in trouble, let's put it on him. They could put him in, and then on top of that, use my demeanor in the car. You see, he was all relaxed and cool. He's about that life. He does this. Which no. It's just that, like I said, the statistic guy and my messed up frame of thing more than likely is gonna happen. I'm like, whatever, man. Like I said, I knew we didn't do nothing, but it was crazy. It was crazy. I seen dudes break down and started singing soprano, better than the best opera singing. We just in the back of the car in handcuffs. So basically, the police took them home, and basically they release them to their parents or whatever, to the grandmama, and went to the mother's house. So I was the last one. And my mother used to work long hours. She worked during the day, so she didn't get home till later. So he had to get my phone number. He had to get my mother's job, and speak to her or whatever on the phone and say something about they're releasing me, but this is what happened. You know, we accosted them because of this reason, and this lady claims this. So right now, you know, we're gonna release him, but we have y'all information, and if the lady further goes down and press charges, whatever, it'll go further. It was something to that nature, but they basically let me go back to my house the other 2 hours. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, it is what it is. But I started thinking to myself, like, yo, these 2 guys here, the way they started breaking down, like I said, my train of thought right now is, if, yo, anything go down, you never know what. If they breaking down and they ain't do nothing in the back of the police car, they're liable to put it on anybody, because they too scary for me. They too scary. And I'm not saying, like, look, man, people should know what they built for and know what you signed up for. I'm saying if you getting out in the streets, and you should know if you built like that. But first of all, my thing and my advice to people would be, you should never go out there in the first place. There's no excuse to go out here and commit crimes and do the wrong thing. And to be honest with you, if you are built for that, it's a bad thing to be comfortable doing the wrong thing. So like I always tell the youngsters, man, look, you have more opportunities than when I was coming up at certain ages, because when I was back in VA in the projects, I tried to get a legit job. Nobody would hire me. So, until eventually I got a job at McDonald's. That was like one of my first jobs. Actually, my first job was landscaping many years younger. Back when I was in New York, my mom had a friend who hooked me up, but I had bad allergies back then. I kept sneezing and the bushes. So I had to lose my job after the first day. I made it a few hours. I think it was an 8-hour shift. I made it for 6 hours, whatever. But my next real job on the books was McDonald's. But, I did what I had to do. But I went around and got the suit and tried to do my thing. And I tried to, do it the legit way, because I'm like, yo, man, you got to make it out of here one way or the other. And I'm like, trying to do the right thing. But like I said, it was hard. A lot of people didn't want to hire me because I'm color my skin. And until actually my godbrother's the one who got me at McDonald's, because he was there first. And then he put him on and said, yo, hire this guy, whatever. But getting back to the story, you have way more avenues and lanes today. You got the internet, you got all type of stuff. These places are hiring. Post-pandemic, they say jobs can't find enough workers. May not want to flip burgers forever. Do what you got to do. Stack that money up. Get your credit right. But there's no excuse to go ahead and do the wrong thing. But for those who are doing the wrong thing, they know who's built for it and who's not. And like I said, they know what they signed up for. So, people get jammed up and they find they ain't built for it. And then when the consequences to the actions, they don't want to face it. They start putting on other people. Some start lying. Because, who's to say that somebody's not lying for self-preservation if they get jammed up? Just because they saying somebody else did something don't mean it's necessarily true. But the point is, man, I say stay away from all that negativity and nonsense. And that's why I put these stories out here. And I try to let people know. Because there's some youngsters that might be going through similar situations. And they hear my story and like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with all that. I say, youngins, stay on the right path, man. You know what I mean? Get your mind right. Read your books. Leaders or readers. And all that. But anyway, continue on the story, because sometimes I have a habit of going for a tangent. I'm going to try to not make this video too long. So, after the incident, the next day, I start hearing from people around the hood. They're like, your man, such and such, and the other dude, whatever, they said yesterday y'all got in some situation, you was back in the police car, and they said you started crying and breaking down, and it was like they was holding it down, you know what I mean, according to them. And they said that's what they saying. I'm like, that's the word out there, word? So you know what? I didn't even bother, you know what I did? I didn't even bother to dispute it with nobody. I ain't bothered to go out there and make an announcement saying, yo, or trying to tell people, yo, they lying. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it happened. This is how it really happened. Because first of all, with every story, there's side A, there's side B, and there's a truth. Side A is one party, side B is the other party, the other side's the truth. Sometimes one of the parties can coincide, because in my case, the story happened exactly how I'm telling it to you, but it is what it is. But here's the thing. I knew that if I went back and they're spreading these rumors or whatever that, I'm the one who had to break down the back of the car, I'm like, it looked like I'm getting crazy defensive, and maybe it is true, because a lot of times I'm like, people spread rumors about people, and it's not true, I get it. You want to try to clear it up or whatever. But my thing is this, the truth is the truth regardless, and the truth is going to stand on its own. So I'm like, I'm not worried about a lie. If anything, people a lot of times they're worried about the truth coming out about themselves. They're like, oh God, I got to try to cover up and hide it. That's the worst thing you can do. If you just keep it 100 all the time and keep it real, you don't have to worry about that. But who cares about a lie? That's my thing. I'm like, the truth is going to reveal itself, because I'm like, okay, they say they built for that. One thing I found out is true. There's a Mobb Deep song back in the day, Shook Ones. Ain't no such thing as a halfway crooks. That song is 100% true. Jay came later with the takeover and said, there's only but so long fake thugs can pretend. That's true too. So if you fake, you're going to out yourself. So I'm like, there's no reason for me to go out here and dispute their word, because they're going to out themselves. So I said, I'm just going to do what I do. And I'm like, anybody who know me, you know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, I don't believe that. I have to see it for themselves. So it is what it is. I wasn't worried about it. So eventually, dudes did get fake, outed or whatever. And after that, I actually stopped hanging out with the two of them. I'm like, yeah, I ain't messing with these two guys. They got too much drama going on. You jumping in drama that's not even yours. Arguing with people outside. What part of the game is that? So I'm trying to keep the goal is to stay out of jail. Take care of yourself and the family. Not jump into some nonsense. So you want to run around playing fake thugs around the projects or whatever, I'm like, be my guest, you can have that. I'm just going to do what I do and stay in my own lane. And that's why today, I've never been incarcerated, kept my head in my body, because I stay in my own lane and I do my own thing. And I suggest everybody out there, I'm telling you, it's the best way to live, man. It's the best way to live. Know what you got to do. Like they said, like in the show Empire, what is it, Cookie Lion said? She was like, that's why they made sidewalks. Everybody's not built for the streets. There's no reason to be out there, man. Do the right thing. Get your mind right, you know what I'm saying? Take care of your family and do the right thing. So basically that concludes the story. Like I said, also, there's a famous YouTuber, shout out Hassan Campbell, says, be careful your circle before they hurt you. Lesson learned. So I learned that. Stay away from them type of dudes. And I'm glad because, God forbid, something really did happen to get jammed up. You already know who's telling. I would have been sent up the river. And I'm like, oh, man. Dude's a snitch. See? Y'all know what you're getting into. Knowledge. Know the ledge. Know the ledge before you jump. So, like I said, keep it clean. Keep it right. Or you out there, do the right thing. And I'm going to see you in the next episode. Until then, we're going to sign off with the signature chill. To the next episode. Thanks, Big Snoop Dogg, Ball that from you. Everybody out there, till next time. Peace.